Today we're going to be going over why AMD is up so much and where it could be heading later this week. Let's get into the video. Hi everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to Finance Bro. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please leave a comment of how many shares of AMD you have, and then also consider leaving a like and subscribe as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys want to see our public stock portfolio, then go ahead and click the first link in the description and get signed up with Public. If you deposit $1, you're going to get a free stock worth up to $70. So go ahead and do that, click the first link in the description. With all that out of the way, let's get straight into our stock for today, AMD. So here we are on WSBtrackers.com, and you can actually see that AMD has been increasing in popularity, especially on Wall Street Bets. So if you guys don't know what Wall Street Bets or WSB Trackers is, it's a Wall Street Bet tracker of how many times a stock is mentioned on Wall Street Bets. So it kind of gauges retail investor sentiment around a stock. So as you can see here, from the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, each day it has been increasing in popularity, and today it was mentioned 17% of the time on Wall Street Bets. So very, very interesting. If we take a look here at StockTwits is another StockTwits is another kind of tracker for stocks, and as you can see here, it is the 5th most active stock on StockTwits in the last 24 hours, and then it added the 6th most watchers over the past 24 hours as well. So overall, AMC is trending in the right direction, and there's a few reasons why. We're going to be going over why it's going up so much. We're also going to be going over an overview of the stock and their financials, and then we're going to do some technical analysis at the end. So if you guys find that interesting, then go ahead and keep watching till the end. But here we are up 5% today. We are up 21% in the last week, and their Public actually gives you, if you guys want to sign up and get the app, it actually gives you little details on why a stock is up. So they say Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, shares are trading higher on continued strength after the company announced availability of the new AMD Radeon Pro W6000X series GPUs for the Mac Pro. Now we can come over here to MarketWatch.com to get to the bottom of why it's up so much. AMD stock gunning for 6 straight record highs as data shows more gains against Intel. So shares have rallied 35% since earnings report showed chipmakers succeeding against larger rival, and new data shows market share wins in data center microprocessors. So basically, they are doing better than Intel is, like in terms of growth, and they're kind of gaining on Intel, so that's why AMD is up so much. But let's get into a little bit more of a deeper dive. So the last time that AMD shares experienced such a streak was on June 2nd, when the stock rose 7 days in a row, so that's something to be thinking about. Coincidentally, AMD's streak began on July 28th, the day after the company said it expected stronger data sales in the second half of the year, even as quarterly sales nearly tripled from those of a year ago. Which is interesting because a year ago we were mid-pandemic, and that was, when gaming should have been at its height, because we were literally stuck inside for at least 4 months at that time, but it still gained or tripled over a year ago. So, and hiked its revenue 60% for the year. Since then, shares have rallied as much as 35%, while Intel shares are down Wednesday and have gained since July 28th. Citi research analyst Christopher Danley, who has neutral ratings on both AMD and Intel, wrote in a Wednesday note that data from the Mercury research showed that while total microprocessor shipments had declined 3% quarter over quarter, AMD's total share of the market increased to 16.9% in the second quarter from 16.1% in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Intel's share fell 83.1% in the second quarter from 83.9%. So AMD is gaining on Intel. While it is slow, they are gaining. The data also shows gains for AMD in the important data center category. The Mercury data showed AMD with 8.9% share in servers, up from 5.5% from a year ago in the second quarter, and 8.2% this year's first quarter. So overall, that's compared to Intel's 91.9% share, down from 94%. So overall, they are gaining on Intel, and that's why they're up so much now. Okay, now we can go over a little bit of an overview on AMD. So they do have a $143 billion market cap, which is pretty high, I will say. But their PE ratio is sitting at about 41, and their earnings per share is sitting at about 2.84. As for performance outlook, they have green short-term, mid-term, and long-term, although a bearish pattern is detected by Yahoo Finance. You can also see here that they've beaten the last 4 quarters in terms of earnings per share, and their revenue has been skyrocketing this year, as well as earnings have been doing way better than years prior. As for recommendation rating, Yahoo Finance has them between a buy and a hold, and analyst price targets have it as low as $17 and as high as $169. So, they are currently in the average of 104. So they are above the average, but the average is kind of between two extremes at 17 and 169. So 169 is kind of the high one. I would expect a price target of like 150-ish from most people, but there are a few ratings that are really weighing it down. People are kind of divided on where AMD is going to go. Here we go with the statistics. We can see here that they do have a trailing PE of 39 and a forward PE of 47. A 18% return on assets and a 25% profit margin. So that's pretty good. We can take a look at their income statement, and you can see that they have an increasing revenue every year. Or every quarter. So they were at 2.8 and now they're at $3.8 billion in revenue just year over year. So super good. Take a look at their balance sheet. They also have a very strong balance sheet. Currently they have $7.8 billion in current assets and only $2.8 billion in current liabilities and only $553 million in total debt. So this is obviously a very strong balance sheet. So obviously AMD had a very strong year last year, but they kind of have traded sideways until this last earnings call happened, and now we are sitting pretty here. So obviously this is when the earnings call happened, and AMD has just been on a complete tear as of recently. They have been overbought for so long, and people just keep on buying AMD because they think they are about to miss out on one of the future growth beasts. Now this does look like a bit of a high valuation for AMD, considering they have risen 30% in the past month. I wouldn't really want to get in here. Although technically, we do have a bit of a bull flag here, and if we could break above this $121 tomorrow, we could see more gains. And as they said a couple of in the article earlier, they did rise 7 days in a row back. I can't remember when it was, but they did rise 7 days in a row. Now, has it been 7 days yet? It has only been 6 days since their earnings call. So, can they break that record of 7 days of straight new highs? I don't know, but they are in a bull flag. If we could break above $21 right here, then that would be a pretty good sign that we're going to continue to be in a bullish uptrend, even though we have had 30% gains in the past week. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. If I did miss anything, then let me know, and comment anything you want down below, and I'll try to get back to you. That's going to be it. Leave a like and subscribe. This really helps with the growth of the channel. My name is Zach, and I hope to see you in the next video.